Well, hello there and welcome to this video on the basics of charts in Microsoft Excel. As you can see, we've got some data here. It's airline operating profit data for 2010, and we've got the name of the airline in column A there and the total profit in column B. So what we want to do is make that into a chart, make it a bit graphical and a bit easier to read and digest. So first thing we'll do is just create a new tab, and we'll just use this this new tab for the chart. So if we go to Insert, and then over here we've got the charts, and this area here is basically kind of all the different types of charts that we can choose from, and each one of these, if we click on it, will bring down a drop-down list of the sort of subcategories of these charts. So we're just going to go for a normal 2D column chart here. So that's created us basically a blank chart. So what we now need to do is right-click in this chart and go to Select Data, and then go back to where our data is, and then just drag round the column headings that we want to include all the way down to the bottom of the data, and just let go of the mouse button, and then in here click OK, and there you can see it's created us a chart of all the airlines along here and the profit bars here. And if we just move it up to the top left, we can drag the bottom right corner just to resize it to make it a bit more readable. And yeah, Microsoft Excel is very good for doing these type of simple charts, basically an X and a Y axis and just some data. But if we want to do something slightly more complex and slightly more useful, let's say, for example, with the data here on tab data 2, which is the same data, but you'll see here it's split by these overall groupings of major cargo, major passenger, and national passenger. So the profits they made from these sort of three groupings. If we want to make a chart that will break this data down, it's slightly more complicated, but same first step. I'll just go in, create a new tab, and insert a chart, and we'll go this time for a stacked column chart. Just click there, and then same as before, right click and select data, and we go back to where our data is and just select everything we want, and we want to exclude the totals column and also the totals row at the bottom there. And you see the data has come up here. I'll just show you if we did by mistake highlight the totals column. We've now got total listed as one of our categories here in the Legend Entries series section, and if we wanted to, we could get rid of that just by clicking there. So if we click OK, we've now got a chart which looks very similar to the other one. I'll just move it and resize it just so we can see what we're doing. But the difference you'll notice is that now we have different coloured lines or different coloured columns here, and those are representing the different overall groupings, the major cargo, major passenger, national passenger. But conveniently, Excel doesn't actually include a legend, so we have to add it manually. So if we go up here to add chart element, click there, there's lots of different options here, but the one we're interested in is legend. So we go down there and then pick a location for the legend, so we'll say on the right, and click, and now you can see we've got an explanation, a legend of what these colours actually mean, because there's not really much point in having them if you don't tell the person looking at it what they actually refer to. So that's a much more useful chart, got much more data in it. And you can go from here to reformat all the different areas of the chart. I mean, basically the way Excel builds charts, it separates them into different sections. So, and when you can highlight each one of those sections, select each one of those sections individually and change them. So, for example, if we wanted bigger labels here on the x-axis, we can just click into the area where the labels are, and we can go to the Home tab and just format it like it was text. So, say we wanted it a bit bigger, we can click on one of these font sizes. So we're going to have 11, no, not 11, 10 point, no. Get it to a size where it'll still be diagonal. There we go. But yeah, you can have, different size text. You can change the color of the text if you want. The fill, make it bold, make it italic, all the usual stuff you can do with text. Probably quite useful to make this legend a bit bigger, so we can just make that 12 point and maybe move it up here, resize it a bit. It's all the usual formatting functions, and you can see the lines are behind it now, so we can go up here and use the fill to let's put just a white background in to get rid of the lines behind it. We could even change the font in it if we wanted to whatever, some crazy font for no apparent reason. Let's have something. Yeah, that's probably not very readable. So yeah, we can basically treat that like a normal block of text. So we can access the options for all these different areas of the chart by clicking in it, and then right-clicking, and then clicking on the Format option on the right-click menu, and that brings up this area, this menu at the side, and that's context dependent on what's currently selected in the chart. So currently the plot area is selected, so it's got options for that. We can click down into the axis, or the legend, or the title, or the x-axis labels, and this will be context dependent and give us options for changing all these things. So for example, in here we can change the fill. Maybe we want to do something here, give it a gradient fill for no apparent reason, and so on and so forth. We can put different effects on it, and then we can change various options. The legend options are actually quite useful. If we go back to the y-axis, we can use these axis options to change the labels. So basically we can make the labels, currently they're coming up every 500,000. We can make them come up every 100,000, like that. So now we've got a bit more detail on the graph, or perhaps we want less detail, or we can control it from here and override the automatic settings that Excel's put. We can even put units on and things like that. But it's worth when you're making a chart just going through all these different options, and as soon as we click onto another axis, we get the options that are relevant for that axis. Obviously this isn't numbers, so we haven't got all the the units and stuff to make changes to, but we've got things like the options for where the vertical axis crosses and where the tick marks are and all this kind of stuff, and we can open up these subcategories and have all sorts of different control over all the different elements of the chart. One thing we might want to do is click into the chart title, and in the chart title you can just literally select and type in, your own title. So we'll go for operating profit. I'll do. Oh, don't want to press return. Click out of that. So, now we've got a decent chart title. In here, you saw earlier we were changing the size of the text. If we make it a bit bigger, basically Excel's kind of automatically trying to fit what we're asking it to do into the current chart, and the way it's done that here is to say, oh, it's not big enough, we're going to have to do it vertically instead of diagonally. So if we click back into that axis, we can override that with the alignment section here, and then just go into custom angle, so minus 45 degrees. Yeah, so that's not looking too bad. And yeah, so definitely worth just playing around with these charts, just going through and neatening them up once you've generated them. And we can do things as well, like if we click back in here, we can change the colors of these series of each individual one by just right clicking on it, and we can then format the data series. Go into the fill, and you see it's red. So if we pick another different color, bright blue or something, there we go. That's now changed to bright blue, and it's changed to bright blue on the legend as well. And we can apply fill to the background of the chart or whatever we want. There's a few automatic options for doing that. If we go up here into the chart tools menus and go to format, we open up this section with the little downward facing arrow. There's lots of preset styles that we can go for, and you can see it's previewing them there. Various different effects that we can apply, which I suppose a designer of Excel at some point has thought were attractive to look at. I'm not entirely sure. I tend to think it's worth just doing it yourself. But yeah, there we go. Those are the basics of charts in Microsoft Excel. Thanks for watching.